Hi guys, this is Amish. Thank you so much for joining me for this Facebook Live, and thank you even more for the wonderful support that you guys have given to my recent book, to my latest book, Sita, Warrior of Mithila, which released just a little while back, a few weeks back. God's grace has been doing well. With your blessings and love, it's been doing well. Thank you so much. Now, I'm sure all you guys know that all my books, all the 5 books that I've written, Immortal India, Secret of the Nagas, Oath of the Vayuputras, Sign of Ikshvaku, and Sita, Warrior of Mithila, you know, all of them actually began as non-fiction philosophy theses, and they got converted into fiction stories. The idea being, through the story, I'll convey some of the philosophies that I wanted to convey. So the philosophies at the heart of the Shiva trilogy was a discussion on this question, what is evil? And the philosophy at the heart of the Ramchandra series was a discussion on what is an ideal society. So the philosophy, non-fiction philosophy, is step 1, and the fiction story is step 2. What you guys have seen till now from me is step 2, the fiction stories. So I thought it would be a good idea to share some of step 1 as well, the non-fiction thoughts and musings that I have, based on which all my stories emerge. That's what my next book is about. The next book is called Immortal India. This is the English cover of it. This is not the actual book, obviously. It's a mock-up. And this is the Hindi cover. Both of them are going to launch together on 21st August, which is not too long away, not too far away. And pre-bookings have also started. In fact, I think the links will be in the post at top here. And the question that emerges, obviously, is why the title Immortal India? Obviously, you know, India is the land that I love. It's the land that I'm passionate about, and all my stories, all my philosophies are rooted in this great land of ours, in our ancient culture. But there's something to think about when we discuss India as a country, which is the first word in this title, immortal. There's this lovely line from Allama Iqbal. I admit Iqbal had many character flaws, I'll not deny that, but there's no doubt that his writings were wonderful. His command over words was beautiful. And one of the thoughts he had written about some time back was this, that sadiyon raha hai dushman दौरे जवां हमारा, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिट्टी नहीं हमारी. That is the logic behind the title of Immortal India, that there's something in us that our country simply refuses to die. There are so many ancient cultures, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, ancient Mesopotamia, so many ancient cultures, the Central American culture, so many of them today are actually museum pieces. Some of their knowledge is still alive, but they are not lived cultures. India is one of the rare cultures which has survived till today. It is still a lived culture. Even today, so many, without being aware of it, many of the rituals that were actually followed 5,000 years ago at the time of the Indus Valley civilization are actually still practiced today. Scriptures that were written 3,000, 4,000 years ago, we still revel in the wisdom of those scriptures. Stories that were written thousands of years ago, we still believe in them. Even today, if you go around the country and you ask people from all religions, all castes, all linguistic backgrounds, and if you ask them what is the best way to run a country, practically everyone will say Ram Rajya. And this is at the heart of what I try and convey in this book, that what is the wisdom from our ancestors that we can try and imbibe, that we can try and think of, and that we can apply to the problems that we face in the modern India as well. That's what this book is about. And I'm not saying everything in our past was perfect. There are many things that actually could be improved. There are many things that should be questioned. I do that in this book as well. So how is the book structured? Firstly, it's not as thick as this. And the book is structured in small bite-sized articles, debates, speeches. Each of them will probably not be more than 1,000 words, and these bite-sized essays have been clubbed in 4 large buckets, essentially. The 4 buckets are religion and mythology, then social issues, history, and my own musings. So what are the kind of thoughts that I try and cover in these 4 buckets? Just to give you a sense of the contents that are there in this book, and if you'd like to explore this book. So in religion and mythology, I explore issues like interfaith dialogue and what India can teach the world in how different faiths interact and with each other and respect each other. That's something that I think we can learn from. Unbridled Shakti, the issue of women's empowerment today, and what can we learn from our feminine force in ancient India. I also actually have a short piece on how the Shiva trilogy ended. I know many of you had this question. So a philosophical answer to how the Shiva trilogy ended and what are my learnings from it and why the story came to me in that way. Social issues. In social issues, I speak of LGBT rights. I speak of freedom of expression and what our ancient culture says about it. I speak of the caste system, the bane of casteism, and what our ancient culture says about it. In history, I speak of the myth of the Aryan invasion theory, for example. I speak of British Bombay and Amchi Mumbai, and what we can learn from the history of this city, of this great city that I live in. I speak of Wajid Ali Shah. I don't know how many of you have heard of this great Nawab of Lucknow and the immense contributions that he made to our culture and the Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb, the syncretism. That is an inherent part of our culture, and what we can learn from this great Muslim Nawab of Lucknow from the pre-British, around the British times, around 150, 200 years ago. And of course, I have some musings, some thought of my own, a patriotic manifesto, science, spirituality, and my son Neil. One of my greatest teachers is my 8-year-old son Neil. I speak of that as well in this book, in Immortal India. That's what this book is about. It's releasing on 21st August, and as I said, pre-bookings are open, and there is a link in the post up above. And now that I've actually given you a brief of what to expect from me on 21st August, happy to answer any questions that you may have, and fortunately there's someone out here who's going to read your questions out to me. I'll try my best to answer them as soon as possible, as well as possible. Sorry.
Alpana is asking, is the book related with ancient culture?
Of course it is, Kalpana, and in fact good question, and I should actually use that to explain the subheading of Immortal India. You'll notice it's Immortal India, young country, timeless civilization. So there's the point one is trying to make is that we are in a sense a young country. Our republic is only 70 years old. We'll celebrate our 70th birthday, 70th Independence Day very soon. But we are a timeless civilization. The roots of our culture go back many millennia, thousands of years, and so many cultures have so many fresh thoughts have added onto it. It's like a great giant river, and many streams keep getting added to it. And we've absorbed influences from so many places in the religious realm, from Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism to Indian Christianity, Indian Islam, Indian Judaism. In the cultural space, in the linguistic space, from so many linguistic cultures that exist across India. All of this keeps getting added, and we are in that sense as a culture. We are not a nihilistic culture, we are an additive culture. We take the best of the old and we keep adding in the best of the new. And we are not a nihilistic culture which likes to destroy everything of the old and start afresh. Which is why in many ways we are a timeless civilization, because our roots go so far back. In many ways we are a young country as well, because we keep adding in the best of the new. Fantastic question. Thank you.
Namita Tiwari is asking, will your non-fiction also have mythological elements?
Yes, it will, Namita. Good question. That will the book Immortal India have mythological elements? Because in the section on religion and spirituality, I speak of ancient mythology and what we can learn from it for modern India. I also speak of why is India one of the rare cultures where our ancient mythology and its interpretations remain alive till today. So yes, that is a significant portion of the book in the bucket of religion and spirituality.
Next question is from Purvi. How is this book different from various other books on the history of India?
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know how to answer. My book is different from others. Let me put it this way: that I mean, it's a non-fiction book. So, non-fiction book is essentially, the research and opinions of the author. So, perhaps the best way to answer this question is Immortal India has been written by Amish. So, therefore, this is my opinions and my research on what we can learn from this great culture of our land. Maybe that's what makes it different from others. I won't say it's better or worse. It's just my opinion. And if you're interested in my opinion, I think you might like this book.
The next question is from Dhruva. What made you write Immortal India?
Dhruva, extremely good question. And in fact, I kind of referred to this in my opening remarks because, as I said, my books usually begin. The step one is non-fiction philosophies, and step two is trying to convert them into stories. The idea being, through a hopefully fast-paced, good story, I can convey some of the philosophies that I thought of in step one. So with this book, Immortal India, what I'm trying to do is actually communicate directly of step one to you, which is my thoughts, musings and philosophies of the land that I love, of India, of our own country.
The next question is from Sridev. How can Indian culture and philosophy help our youth?
Sridev, very good question. I think the best way our ancient culture and philosophies can help us is to adapt to and manage this very fast changing times that we live in. Many of us feel uprooted, unmoored in this modern age where things are changing so rapidly, and perhaps our ancient culture, our ancient philosophies can help us manage these fast changing times. So, for example, if we all of us who fight for equality for women, for the rights of women, there is an accusation made at times that apparently by fighting for women's rights, one is being westernized. And I would like to point out that, and that which is what I try and do in one of the articles in my book, that actually by fighting for women's rights, we are not being Western, in fact we are being truly Indian, because that's what our ancient culture actually suggests to us. So if we approach the issue from that perspective, we can actually manage modern issues without feeling unmoored. For example, also when we speak of that the caste system must be eradicated, once again one is being truly Indian when one speaks of that, because our ancient culture actually says that. The Bhagavad Gita clearly says that the Valmiki Ramayana, which was the original Ramayana, Maharishi Valmiki was not born a Brahmin, he was born a lower caste, but he was respected as not just a Brahmin, in fact even higher, as a Rishi. These are good, modern, liberal messages that we can learn from our ancient culture and apply to the modern day. That's what I try and speak of in this book.
Natasha has a question. On the cover of your book, it's written articles and speeches. So what are the articles that are there in the book?
The articles in the book are clubbed in 4 buckets. The first being religion and mythology, the second being social issues, the third being history, and the fourth being just musings, my thoughts, which couldn't be clubbed in any of those other 3 buckets. Within these 4 buckets, I speak of various issues. So on religion and mythology, I speak of issues like why does ancient mythology still remain a lived experience in India. In history, I speak of issues like the British colonial Raj, how that impacted us and what we can learn from it. In what is the other thing? In social issues, I speak of LGBT rights, I speak of women's rights and what our ancient culture says of it. And in musings, I speak of stuff which actually can't be classified anywhere else. So I speak of science, spirituality, etc.
The next question is from Shiva. Are these articles old articles or new articles?
Some of them are old, some of them are new, some of them are completely fresh thoughts which haven't been published anywhere. Some of them are speeches that I've made. So, for example, I've spoken of the ancient Indian approach to charity. So, some are speeches that I've made which aren't public anywhere. Some are debates that I've participated in. So much of that is stuff which you may not find anywhere else.
The next question is from a reader who's saying that your first book, the first fiction book was Immortals of Meduha, and your first non-fiction book is Immortal India. Why?
Hopefully the book will remain immortal.
A lot of people are still asking when is the book releasing and where can we pre-order?
Okay, Immortal India is releasing on 21st August. So just a few days after our 70th Independence Day, after the 70th birthday of our country, and you can pre-order on all online sites and at all bookstores across India. I think my publisher will make my book available everywhere. If it's not, then please write into me. I'll make sure I get after my publisher. Okay, thank you so much. I've been given the signal to end this. So thank you so much for participating in this Facebook Live. Thank you once again for all your love and support to Sita, Warrior of Mithila. And I'll repeat again, Immortal India, both the English and the Hindi edition will launch, both of them will launch simultaneously on 21st August. And I hope you like this one as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye.